guys, welcome back to my channel, my beautiful Bravo lovers. We are going to break down the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion part 2 today. If you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and get subscribed so you don't miss out on any of the fun. Before we even jump into dissecting everything that went down on part 2 of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion, I want to bring up something that really rubbed me the wrong way during not only part 1 but also part 2. It was very relevant that social media has played a detrimental role within Real Housewives. So now, before any season, and this is not just geared towards Salt Lake City, it's all of the housewives, every city as a whole. You know, before cities even air their new season, all of the rumor mill starts to go on social media, all the drama that happens, who's new in the cast, all of that stuff. So a lot of things that are left, you know, to keep us surprised when a season aired, it's now being leaked, which is good for me, you know, good for me to bring all of y'all the content, but also it takes out some of that suspense before a new season airs. Also, it just seems during this whole entire reunion, going back to Salt Lake City, that a lot of stuff unfolded on social media, specifically between Lisa and Heather, and Jen and Heather, and Whitney. It just seems as a viewer watching this reunion that I'm just confused. I don't understand what is happening. I don't understand why there's this huge reaction from Lisa and Heather. What happened between filming and the reunion that got everyone so heated? I mean, we all saw the "I don't know her" issue, but I just feel like there isn't enough beef from what I saw between Lisa and Heather to cause that type of reaction. Apparently, it all stems from social media. And as a viewer, we don't see that. We don't see what goes on behind the scenes on social media, the Twitter back and forth, the Instagram, the posting, the blogs. Like, I'm sorry, I have a full-time job. I don't have time to go and dissect tweets between Heather and Lisa. I just feel like there needs to be stricter rules with how social media is used before filming, during filming, after filming. So we as a viewer aren't watching the reunion going, what the fuck is going on? What is this reaction? I watched the same television show that all of y'all did. I'm not watching a different version. I'm just very, very confused. If you're gonna have a reunion, talk about what actually happened on the show and your feelings about what was said on the show, not your feelings over a fucking tweet that I don't even see. I cannot be the only one that agrees with this. Here is what I think needs to happen. We gotta go back to basics. We are going to have to go to basics. I'm gonna say it a little louder for the people in the back. We have got to go back to basics. Bring back the blogs. The Bravo blog. Do you guys remember that? This was years ago. All of the cast members would watch the show back and then blog about what they saw on the episode. There was no back and forth on Twitter. There was no Twitter wars, Instagram wars, whatever frickin' war. There was none of that stuff. So when the reunion happened, they just talked about, well, in the blog you said this. And that's the only thing that they were allowed to use. I just feel like there needs to be stricter rules when it comes to social media, because this is a prime example of how things can go south really quickly. Here's the thing. I think that these wars started as soon as Andy Cohen announced the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. All of these wars and these opinions about everyone within the cast started to happen. There's stuff that we don't even know about, and they're bringing it up. Like, I didn't think that Heather was such an awful person while watching the season. I mean, I had my opinions about Lisa, but it wasn't anything like crazy. I mean, from what I saw on the show, it just looked like she was a little full of herself. But the fight between all of them, I don't understand how it got to, other than shit that went down on social media. Go back to basics, Bravo. Really crack down on social media usage within the cast, so us as a viewer aren't watching a reunion going, well, I don't remember watching that. Why is Lisa so upset? I don't remember any of that happening. It's because it all unfolded on social media. So just keep in mind, Bravo, that a normal person, we don't have time to go and constantly be watching Twitter to like figure out and analyze where this fight is happening. So just keep that in mind. I've said my piece. Now let's get into the reunion. A lot of shit goes down in part 2. So the first issue that Andy brings up is Hospitalgate. We open up with a montage of Mary and everything associated with her from the season. So right off the bat, we jump right into Hospitalgate. So Mary, again, she apologized for her comments about Jen's aunt, and she agreed that they were insensitive and that she did smell a hospital smell at the dinner. And here's where things get crazy. Jen said that she was never at the hospital, and if Mary was smelling hospital, it wasn't from her. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that Jen said that she was coming from the hospital to the dinner, and that what Mary said was insensitive because she was at the hospital spending time with her aunt who got a double amputation. Is this another social media fight that we all just don't fucking know about? Just calling it like it is. I'm just confused. Someone's lying here. Someone was at the hospital. Like, I don't get it. Honestly, I don't think Mary's lying because Mary has no filter. But maybe Mary is lying because she did lie about saying what she said about Whitney and Meredith and Heather and everybody being afraid of Jen. So Mary again apologized to Jen, and Jen says, oh, this is the first time you've apologized for it.
I'm not going to keep apologizing over and over and over.
This is the first time you've apologized.
No, it's not. I apologized on television.
Sis, no it isn't. She did apologize to you at the night of the party, and me as a viewer, it looked sincere.
I'm sorry if I hurt you. I would never want to hurt you. Here, please. Like, really?
Jen is making it out that Mary's apology isn't sincere at all. But like, how many times does Mary need to apologize for Hospitalgate? I'm sorry, but all of this is just getting out of control. Mary is right. Jen saying Mary's apology wasn't sincere is the same as not accepting it. Jen is still sitting there asking for an apology, but Mary apologized for it multiple times. To your face at the reunion and to your face at Meredith's party at the premiere of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I don't know what you want, Jen. I love you, but I don't know what you want from her. But this is an unpopular opinion. Mary's commentary during the reunion is why I want her back for a second season. There, I fucking said it. At the time of filming this, rumor has it, Mary is being asked back for a season 2 of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm kind of here for it. I've got a lot of unpopular opinions during this review, so buckle up, y'all. This is gonna get wild. So here are my thoughts about Jen and apologies. She's sitting there asking Mary to apologize for what she said about her aunt over and over and over and over and over again, but when Mary does apologize, she doesn't accept it because it's not sincere. It's the same thing Jen did to Whitney. When Whitney apologized to her in the hot tubs, Whitney apologized to her, they hugged, and I thought that they moved on. Again, I have eyeballs and I watched the show. I watched what happened. And then Jen still was upset and brought up the issues with Whitney all over again because she thought that Whitney wasn't being sincere. I'm sorry, but if someone apologizes to you whether you think it's sincere or not, you have to move on. If you choose to not accept an apology, you have to say, and be a big girl and put your big girl panties on and say, I'm sorry, I do not accept your apology. I don't think it's sincere. I'm not willing to move forward with you. You can't hug and move on and make the other person think that the issues have been squashed and then rehash everything all over again. I'm just sorry, that's not how apologies work. It's not. So moving away from Hospitalgate, I think we've talked about that enough. I left feeling unresolved. So we talk about the 7-Eleven comments. Guys, I cannot even wrap my mind around what happened during this segment of the reunion. Like, clearly Mary is very upset by everything that was said about the 7-Eleven comments.
It's not true. I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
No, I did
What
not.
did you say?
So here's what I see going down. The original issue that was brought up at the Met Gala luncheon was that Mary had a fear of black men standing outside a 7-Eleven, and when she saw black men standing or inside a 7-Eleven, she would turn around and go elsewhere. Mary said that she never said that, but Jen said, oh, no, you did, and then turns to all of the other ladies and then proceeds to say, no, she did say that, right, Heather? No, she did say that, right, Lisa? She said that. You heard that, Meredith. She said that. Did she? Though, did she? I just feel like I think it was taken out of context, but Heather and Lisa are both saying that Mary said it.
On the show?
Yeah, you did.
At the luncheon, you
I
just
said,
yeah. So
7-Eleven?
You did. You said, yeah, I did say that.
No, I did not.
So I guess let us be the judge of it. I do agree with Meredith that Mary was implying that maybe she's just afraid of sketchy people.
my interpretation was that Mary's reference was really more about sketchy people outside of 7-Eleven.
Okay.
But this whole conversation was very race-driven, and it was uncomfortable to watch. I don't understand how it turned into this deep-rooted colorism. The whole conversation, it just makes a very bizarre turn and turns into whether or not Mary is attracted sexually to black guys versus white guys. Like, I don't even know what's going on right now, and it makes me uncomfortable. Like, can we please stop talking about this? Like, here's what I think about Mary and a lot of the comments that she makes and the snide remarks. I think it's just all taken out of context and it's misconstrued. You can come here and you can disagree with that, but I really think that the words were put in her mouth and twisted into something that weren't 100% true. There, I said it. Just giving Mary a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. So now Andy turns to Jen and asks Jen to apologize for the "you're gonna go with Mary who fucked your grandpa" comment she made about Mary at the 20s party.
It was a heated conversation. I had a lot to drink. There's no excuse. I shouldn't have said that. I was angry and hurt. That's it.
So does Mary accept the apology?
So, do you accept her apology?
I didn't hear an apology.
Ding, ding, ding. No, she doesn't, because there was no apology in that. Here's what. It literally took Jen all she had to apologize to Mary for what she said.
I'm sorry. Very, very sorry. I take 100% blame. I shouldn't have said it.
Andy asks about the nasty, mean stuff that Jen has posted about Mary on, you guessed it, social media, and all the ladies are agreeing that Jen wouldn't let go of the issue and kept attacking Mary nonstop. I told you my thoughts about social media. We gotta crack down on the social media fighting, guys, because viewers don't see that. I don't have the time to go through everyone's social media. I just don't. I work full time. Go back to basics. Bring back the blogs and talk about what you saw on the fucking episode so we all know what is going on. It made me so upset that I'm sitting watching a show that I love and I have no freaking idea what's going on because all of y'all just brought up shit on social media. Come on, guys, do better. Ugh. I digress. I literally digress. I'm very angry about it. But here we go again. No one sticking up for Mary versus no one sticking up for Jen. Why are we having this battle? It's like we're in middle school. It's very clear that no one had Mary's back. There, I said it. And it's very clear that everyone had Jen's back. And there, I said it. So let's go move on to the next issue. Everyone being scared of Jen Shah. A lot to say. So do we think everyone is scared of Jen and her explosive reactions? I mean, I might be a little scared of Jen Shah, just saying. So this whole issue, I just feel like it was lost in translation all throughout the season. I think, and I'm gonna say it again, I said it last week, Jen's 100% triggered by Mary. The thought of Mary, the sound of Mary, Mary's look, everything about Mary, it triggers you. Like, stop lying, it does. Like, what fucking issue is going on here?
It's not the word Mary, it's the issue at hand that you're missing.
Hospitalgate, 7-Eleven comment, everyone scared of Jen. What issue? Because those issues alone do not warrant that type of behavior.
You're gonna go with Mary, who her grandfather? Shut the up about Mary!
Like, they just don't. Anyway, I digress. Andy asks Mary if she really said that all of the ladies are afraid of Jen. And Mary answers, no. What? So this whole season, well, half of this season, everyone thinks that everyone's scared of Jen because Mary said that to Whitney. And here, Mary never even said that at all. Mary thinks that everyone is afraid of Jen. She perceives that, and that's what she told Whitney. Again, stuff just got lost in translation, words were twisted, things were misconstrued. There's a big difference between actually having someone say to your face, I'm afraid of Jen, to thinking everyone is afraid of Jen. I don't know, but you know who did say that they are afraid of Jen? Heather. Roll footage!
Intimidation and fear, and people like don't want to make her mad, but like she has thrown down.
I don't get that from her. Is that crazy? Like I don't
I
feel
get
that
totally
from
from
Jen.
that. Like she scares
I
the
don't-
shit out of me. Are you
doesn't-
kidding?
You know what?
Alright, so there's a huge dysfunctional fight going on here, and all I'm really trying to do during all of this is just try to keep up. Feel like I'm running a freaking sprint. So who is afraid of Jen? Clearly, Whitney and Heather are. Lisa said on camera multiple times that she is not afraid of Jen. But Heather keeps saying that Lisa is terrified of her.
Doesn't scare you?
No, not even a little bit.
I think Lisa may be onto something here.
Mary, what I hear?
Here we go, weather. Whitney and Heather, bad weather, tornado. Spin the truth, destroy.
Whitney and Heather keep saying and really gunning on this topic that Lisa is not Jen's friend at all. I saw Lisa run to Jen's side multiple times all through the season. Like, that's the farthest from the truth. A lot of things are trying to get bent and turned and twisted, and I just kind of feel as if Heather and Whitney are gaslighting me. There, I said it. I said it. I'm sorry I said it. Heather and Whitney go on to say that Lisa is not friends with anyone other than Lisa. But, like, I saw the friendship between her and Meredith. Like, that's a huge slap in the face to say something like that. I know Lisa comes off very self-involved and very cocky and very arrogant, but she is a good friend. Like, I saw her be a great friend to Jen. I saw her be a great friend to Mary. I saw her be a great friend specifically to Meredith. And to say something like that, why would you say something like that? You know, if the only reason is to confuse the viewer and make people want to be on your side more than be on Lisa's side. And, you know, I started this channel and doing reviews never to really pick sides with anyone. I talk about what I see on the show, and I'll call a bitch out like that. I've called Jen out, I've called Lisa out, and guess what? I'm gonna call you out, Heather, and I'm gonna call you out, Whitney. Just wait. We gotta move on. We gotta move on. Holy shit.
Got disgusting human being, and you're a liar. You're not a good friend to her. I didn't say one thing about her goddamn marriage this whole entire time. Don't you call me a liar? Don't you call me a bad friend?
So now let's switch gears and talk about Mary's marriage to Robert Sr. Andy asks if there was a will from Mary's grandmother saying that she needs to marry her step-grandfather. Mary's answer to that? No, there isn't. What is going on right now? I am so confused. So basically, Mary's grandmother did not tell anyone that she wished that Mary would marry her step-grandfather. I do not understand. Basically, they got married because they prayed about it, and God told them that this is what they needed to do. This is some weird flip of the fuck bullshit. I don't understand. So there was no will. No one told Mary to marry her step-grandfather. But then Mary says that her grandmother said that she wanted her to take her place. I think she just meant take her place and be like the pastor of the church, not take her place in the literal sense. Y'all, this is a weird flip of the fuck situation. So there was no will, there was nothing in writing, it just seems contradictory. That's just my opinion. I'm gonna say this, Mary is a weird enigma, and I honestly and oddly want more of her. I want Mary to be filmed in a full-time role, not edited in last minute to be full-time. I think Mary deserves to be featured properly, not some half-assed edit. I want her to be filmed as a full-time housewife so I can see more of that crazy bitch. There, I said it. I said it. We can talk about Mary's background till the freaking cows come home, but I do not understand it. It does not make sense, but I oddly want more and more and more Mary because she's so flippin' crazy. But some of the questions that Andy is asking Mary, it's very inappropriate. Are her and her husband physical? What's the age difference? Do you love him? Do you sleep in the same bed? These are inappropriate things that should be left private. Like, shame on you, Andy Cohen, for asking Mary these questions. Like, she shouldn't have to explain her marriage. I mean, it is freaking weird. But some of the questions just should be private, and she shouldn't have to explain that to anybody, no matter how freaking weird the situation may be. It just, hearing Andy ask all these inappropriate questions, like, are you sexually attracted to black men? Are you sexually attracted to white men? It took me back to watching Framing Britney Spears, when all of the interview people would ask Britney Spears all of these inappropriate questions. Would these questions be asked to a man? They would not. And you can't sit here and be like, no, they would. They would not. They absolutely would not. Andy Cohen wouldn't be sitting on his chair asking a man if, let's see, if him and his wife are physical. What's the age difference? Do you love them? Do you sleep in the same bed? It's inappropriate sexist questions. Like, if Mary is happy, let it go, people. Let it go. Let it go. Like, let it go. Let's talk about something good that came out of this reunion, shall we? Oh, I forgot to bring this up, and I'm not really gonna touch on this because I don't feel like I am properly equipped to talk about this. All of the colorism and the race remarks that were made during this segment of Mary's marriage and asking, you know, if Mary is attracted to black men or white men and race. I am going to put a card right here to the Bravo breakdown. She does a great job at explaining what happened during this segment of the reunion. So go and check her out. The Bravo breakdown on Instagram. Worth it, people. Worth it. So let's talk about something good that came out of this reunion. Andy asks Jen and Mary if they would both be able and willing to let bygones be bygones. Both of them apologized again and said they would be able to move forward and move on. Progress, people. Progress has been made. And here is what I want to see for season 2. A Jen, Mary, and Lisa alliance. There. I said it. I said it. Quick highlight though, a quick highlight. Andy is talking about Heather's experiences on the show and how she found her voice and the lesson she is teaching her daughters about being who they want to be and living their truths. And she brings up boyfriends and sex. And I just need to show you this reaction from Mary because I literally died. So here's where the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion, it takes a turn when Andy asks this.
Lisa, you said on Watch What Happens Live that Heather's ego is the most inflated since the show aired.
Lisa thinks Heather has two sides, mouthy and mousy.
In a way, she's like making fun of herself, but in another side, there's two sides to Heather. I'm like always like, are you mouthy or mousy?
Like the issue of Lisa not knowing Heather is brought up. Someone is lying here though, guys. Lisa and Heather went to college together. Heather preached to say they knew each other for 20 years, but apparently that's not really how Lisa perceived it. Now Heather is telling Jen that she thinks Jen is trying to level up friendships with Lisa and Meredith. I said it at the beginning of this review and I'm going to say it again. Social media is a huge issue for me as a viewer as well as the ladies. Too much is happening behind the scenes after filming wraps on social media, or during filming, or before filming, and then you decide to bring up these Twitter and Instagram fights at the reunion. Like, I don't know what's going on. Stick to what actually happened on the show that we as viewers see. I'm just saying, this is exactly my point. This started back in 2019, and all these fights began to happen 2 years ago, and now they're being drudged back up, and you know, we as the viewer have no idea what is even going on. I think this is why Lisa and Heather are so hard with each other, because all of these fights happened 2 years ago and it's just been built up tension, and now all of a sudden it's like exploding. But like, I didn't see that on the television show. I didn't see that on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Why are we talking about this at the reunion? I think at the reunion you should only be talking about what actually happened on the show, not some bullshit Twitter fight from 2 years ago. Like, I don't care about that. I really don't. So Heather thinks that Lisa and Jen are fueling the blogs and that Lisa is fueling information to Jen. And then Whitney says that Lisa told Whitney that she shouldn't even be a housewife. What's going on? So all of the ladies then take a little like 15, a little break, and y'all, what went down during this little break is flippin' crazy. Heather and Lisa go at each other like frickin' feral cats. They're fighting whether or not they even knew each other and their loyalty towards Jen Shah. And Jen Shah isn't even there. She's in her dressing room. Heather is trying to make it come off that because Lisa is loyal to Jen Shah, it's somehow offensive to Meredith. But Meredith herself even said that she can be friends with one person and be loyal to someone else, or like not get involved in any type of drama. So like, I really don't think Meredith could give two shits. I'm just saying. It's very clear that Heather is trying to sabotage Lisa and pin people against each other, and it was very apparent during this reunion. She's trying to make it seem that because Lisa is friends with Jen Shah, it does not make her a loyal friend to Meredith, which causes this amazing moment. Roll footage.
Yeah, let's all bail on Jen. Let's no one be friends with Jen, right? That's what you want.
when I brought her on the show and you were furious about me.
Roll footage, watch. She's saying this.
I think this is exactly what Heather wanted. Look at how she's just sitting back, putting on her lip gloss. It's like she lit the flame and sat back and watched it burn.
I'm trying to help you understand why it...
And that's just my opinion. I think Heather's ego has gotten to her head, and it's very apparent from this week. There's just so much anger and so much hostility, and as a viewer, I keep saying it, but I really do not understand where it came from or why it's even happening. Lisa isn't a horrible friend. Everything here is being interpreted differently and twisted and manipulated, and I'm really just left confused. Like, it all is stemming back from social media, blogs, interviews that began to happen as soon as the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was announced at BravoCon back at the beginning of 2019. This is when all the egos, the fights, the interviews began to happen. And all of these nitpicking fights that weren't even shown on the show are being brought up. Like, this is why there needs to be strict rules regarding social media usage during filming, after filming, everything leading up to the reunion. Because addressing a Twitter fight from 2 years ago is just really confusing as a viewer. And there, I said it. So, is Lisa gonna return to set or not?
Okay, is Lisa coming back?
We hope.
Get subscribed to my channel, and we'll find out next week. That's it, guys. That's all I've got. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Reunion Part 3 airs next week. We wrap things up with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Get subscribed to my channel so you never miss out on a thing that I do. Next week, we wrap things up with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. That's all I've got for you guys today. Bye! Don't be assholes.